Hello everybody, my name is TruthSeeker182, but you can just call me the Lion. Today I'm going to be doing a Zelda Q&A, a Zelda Mailbag for all of you, just reading and answering some questions sent in by you, the viewers. This video is going to go up on my channel, and this is also for Game Over Jesse. This is for his channel as well. I'm going to be sending him this video to put up on his channel if he chooses to. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. The first question comes from Taylor Lihote. They ask, my question is, if Ganon was trapped both times for over 100 years, how is he still alive at the age of maybe 130? So I don't have a video game answer for you with this question, but I do have a little bit of a scientific answer, a little bit of a physics answer for you. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, when you're moving closer and closer to the speed of light, which is 300 million meters per second, by the way, the closer and closer you get to that speed, time slows down for you. So a photon that starts at the sun, which is about 90 million miles away from planet Earth, the photon takes about 8 minutes our time to get here, okay? A little photon of light. But if you were the photon, if you were riding on top of the photon, since you are traveling at the speed of light, you would have no concept of time passing. So assuming that time and light is a very influential thing in The Legend of Zelda, which I believe it is, if Ganondorf was trapped in the Sacred Realm or whatever realm he was trapped, perhaps he was, or that realm itself is moving at a certain speed, maybe close to the speed of light. So to him, time would almost be standing completely still. Time would be almost standing completely still to him. Meanwhile, on the outside, from a relativistic standpoint, time would be moving, as you said, like 130 years in the future. Now, you can look this up if you don't believe me about relativity and time dilation is what it's called. So that's my answer. That's the best thing I can come up with to answer that question for you. Like I said, I don't have a lore answer or an actual answer from Nintendo themselves. That's just where my brain goes for that one. Great question. All right, let's see. So Not a Hero asks, what are some games that are similar to Zelda that you would recommend? You know, I don't have many games that I personally can recommend. I'm sure other people can tell you. But The Legend of Zelda is just like, to me, it is such a unique. It has similar elements to other games, to other RPGs, but just the fantastic elements of it are just so rare to me, and they pull me in such a unique way. So to me, it's just The Legend of Zelda. I really don't know. I don't have a definitive answer on that one. What else do we have here? Okay, so Sipco the Wild Challenges Solo asks, how much do you think Link weighs? Well, that's a very good question, my friend. I bet Link weighs different amounts in different games. You know what I mean? Obviously, I would say that Child Link weighs a lot less than Adult Link. I believe Child Link is about, I think it was 11 years old. And I think an Ocarina of Time, at least, an Adult Link is, I think, 17 or 18 years old in an Ocarina of Time. So I would imagine he weighs about the average weight of a normal human being, or a normal Hylian, or whatever you want to call it, a normal Kokiri. So probably, between when he's 11, 100 pounds, who knows, and about 150, between 150 and 170 pounds when he's older. Now, you got to keep in mind that when he gets all of his gear, he weighs an astronomical amount, which is, once again, it's not very plausible in a scientific realm and in our reality. Because look at Twilight Princess, for example. He's holding that ball and chain. That ball and chain itself probably weighs 1,000 pounds. You know what I mean? So that's literally physically impossible for him to be carrying around in his pocket. But he could definitely have a bow and arrow, a sword, a shield. Like these are things that chainmail that he wears. These are definitely things that he could carry on him. That would add probably another 100 pounds to him, or close to, probably 50 to 100 pounds to his weight, making him 200 plus pounds total. But his body weight, I would imagine, he's pretty skinny. He's not too muscular. He doesn't have a big, thick build. So I would say he's about an average kid, an average human, just like we are, All right. This is a good question. Matt Manna says, what if the lens of truth is in a case and it's not the book that Link is holding? in the trailer for The Legend of Zelda for Wii U. So he's saying, what if what's inside that book is the Lens of Truth? It's not just a book itself. That would be very interesting. But what I personally believe, if you look on the book, you can see the Sheikah symbol itself. I believe that the book has to do with the Lens of Truth and has to do with the Sheikah and magic in general, and even the time shift stones, because we don't know pretty much anything about The Legend of Zelda for Wii U. But what we have seen in the trailer is that Link has that blue bow and arrow, that arrow that has that blue stone at the end of it. And in my opinion, that is a time shift stone. So, and since it's the same color as what's on that book, I believe that it has to do with the Sheikah. Not only that, but let's go back to Skyward Sword for some more evidence. If you look on the time shift stones in Skyward Sword, they have that weird symbol that almost looks like the Lens of Truth on it. If you guys know what I'm talking about. They actually have that symbol, you know, that it looks like the Sheikah have something to do with building or interacting with the time shift stones. So what I believe that book, yes, it does have to do with the Lens of Truth, not that he's holding it there. I think if he had the Lens of Truth, it would just be in his backpack or it'd be in the satchel that Epona's carrying. I believe that book has a bunch of like spells and a bunch of different things and the way to interact with time itself and the ways to maybe acquire those stones and how to use the stones. Maybe how to slow down time, maybe a speed up time, maybe even rewind time, you know, because the Master Sword has similar powers to that too, just like an Ocarina of Time. You can go back and forth. So I believe that book it's going to be magical, man. And to further give credence to this prediction is the magic bar. If you look on the 4-minute trailer that we had, the gameplay trailer, there's a magic bar. Finally, I think this is the first magic bar that we've had in a Zelda game since Twilight Princess, all the way back 10 years ago in 2006. Finally, we get the magic bar to return. I'm so excited about that. There's a huge green magic bar that he has there. So I really hope that book has almost exclusive magic content within it, because I love magic. Just the idea of magic, it is so beautiful to me. Okay, let's see. The Niminator says, if you could design a new item for a future Zelda title, what would it be? Oh man, I have no idea. That's a great question, my friend. A future item for Zelda. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would like to think I would, you know, some kind of maybe weapon or something that Link could wear. I would like it to be some kind of wearable, whether it be a gauntlet, gloves, maybe a different hat that does something different. You know what I mean? I like that he has different items that he can actually wear on his body, as opposed to just having in his satchel. If that makes any sense to you. So I can't really tell you right off that. Maybe a new kind of boots. I hope they bring back the hover boots. That's one thing I hope that they bring back, is the hover boots from Ocarina of Time. Those are like my favorite boots. Those are my favorite boots in the entire Zelda series. Not only because of the way they looked, or because not only because of the function that they had. They could let you hover and float over depths, you know, over holes and stuff. But because of the look of the boots, they have those golden wings on them. They're so beautiful, and the sound that they make, they sound so beautiful, and it literally feels like Link's walking on a cloud of light for a little bit. The hover boots are amazing. So I don't know. It would maybe be some kind of boot or some kind of hat. It would be an item that he could wear. I would like to say that it would be some kind of item that Link could wear that would impact the gameplay all the time. Great questions, you guys. Great questions. Let's see. Okay, this isn't really a question, but more of a comment from Justin Jandok. He says, I don't know why, but it would be cool if there was going to be some kind of like train or movable warp points, like little taxi services. That would be really cool. I agree with you, my friend, especially in Zelda Wii U, because the world is going to be so big, you know? So it would be really awesome if there was like carriages and horses that always, you know, had marketers, traders, barters on them, going from town to town, city to city, going from, you know, the edge of the ocean all the way to Hyrule Castle and back. That if you were to run into them at any given point in time, you could talk to them and hitch a ride, pay a couple rupees, hitch a ride, and maybe it would be so awesome. You're sitting there on the carriage, on the horse and carriage, hitching a ride somewhere before you get like Epona, before you get any kind of fast travel, and maybe you're just on your way on the path, and then that could branch off into side quests. Like all of a sudden, raiders come and rob you and try to rob you, and then Link has to save the day. They take an item and they steal it and they go off into the woods. Like there's so many different opportunities that could happen with that. And even to take it down a notch, just the relaxation, the scenery. I know a lot of people didn't like the Wind Waker in the regard that you had to sit on the boat and you had to just go through the ocean and sail through the ocean. But one of my friends told me, my friend's little brother told me, I remember when he said that he actually didn't really use the speed sail in the HD version because he actually liked the speed of the original Wind Waker, where you would just sail smoothly across the ocean. He said there was something very calming about it, very relaxing about that. So in Zelda Wii U, I think it would be amazing before you got Epona or a fast travel type of thing, maybe the Loft Wing, whatever they have in store for fast travel. I think it would be really awesome if there was like a in-between type of travel where it's faster than Link running but slower than the fast travel itself, where you just get on a carriage or something like that, or a train, whatever you want to call it, and you could just sit there, have Link sit down in the chair, and he could heal his hearts up or whatever while he's sitting, just like in Skyward Sword, and you can just look around at the scenery. Maybe while you're walking, you're going by trees and stuff, you can mark points of interest and put it on your map for later, put it in your notebook. Maybe you could scan things with your lens of truth. Just different ideas like that, different interactive scenes like that I think would be beautiful. You could take pictures, hopefully. I hope they include a camera, so if you see a beautiful sunset or a sunrise and you see horses running across the field and you're just sitting on the carriage, you could just take a picture or a short video of that. I think that would just be awesome, you guys. That would be really cool to have something like that involved, especially since it seems, given everything we know about Zelda Wii U, which is very little, it seems like it's new. To me, it looks like it's going to take place after Skyward Sword, like they came down maybe 100 years later, a little bit later, a couple generations after the Link from Skyward Sword. It looks like they're just starting to inhabit the territory. They're just starting to clear it out, make it safe, build farms, build villages, and I think in the distance you can see Hyrule Castle. So having all of that like very rural type of landscape would be just gorgeous to sit back and relax and get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and reality that we have here on planet Earth. That would be awesome, my friend. I totally agree with you. Okay, and the same guy, he asked another good question right here. Justin Jandok says, what if we can use the book to warp? Like maybe it's a totally different book. So maybe it's different than everything that we're expecting, you guys. Maybe that book that Link is wearing can help us warp. And I agree. It might be part of that. It might be part of what the Sheikah have put into it, part of the magic. And I really hope that we learn about the origins of the Sheikah in this story in Zelda Wii U, because throughout most of the Zelda series, the Sheikah's just been this like mystery, this shadow that's always in the back of the Hylians. It's always in the back protecting the royal family. But the only ones that ever really are alive is Impa and Sheik, but Sheik is Zelda, right? So it's like they got extinct in the Hyrulean Civil War, I believe. So it would be so awesome to see them out and about, hustling and bustling and doing their things, like living their lives. How were the Sheikah? How did they interact? How did they protect the royal family, back in the day? That would be so incredible to me to figure out, and it would place perfectly right after Skyward Sword in the timeline, because in all the other games they're extinct, they're gone. So it just makes sense to me, even more so, that it's going to be a Skyward Sword sequel. I really hope we learn about the Sheikah in this game. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. Please leave your comments and questions down below. I love answering questions, and I hope that Jesse would like me to continue doing these, because I love answering questions, especially about Zelda. Zelda is hands down my favorite video game franchise of all time. I will never get tired of talking about it. Never, ever, ever. I base my life off of this game in so many ways. You're going to laugh at me, but it has really impacted me in my heart and my mind so much that it literally affects the way I act and behave on a daily basis. It affects the way I live my life. This series, there's just no question about it. I think that's it. Let's see. It might be one more. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Last one, guys. Dark Mage. He says, couldn't it be placed... I'm sure he's talking about Zelda Wii U. Couldn't it be placed in both the era of prosperity and the era of chaos? It has been theorized that this Link will have the ability to control the flow of time because of what seems like the use of the time shift stones in his arsenal. I agree. He could perhaps, like in Skyward Sword, be able to travel back and forth through time using the time shift stones without his age changing accordingly. Then Nintendo would have another timeline split. Well, I don't know if they'd have another timeline split because Ocarina of Time did this and it wasn't really a timeline split. Well, actually, it kind of did. You're right. It did because it branched off to the child and the adult timeline. But I don't know if it would be another one. It could just coincide, you know what I mean? If he did do this in Zelda Wii U and he had the time shift stones to go back and forth, part of the story could just continue on into the child timeline and some could go into the adult. It's not that they have to make a whole new fifth, timeline because we have the prosperity, we have the fallen timeline, the child timeline, and the adult timeline. It's not like we'd have to make a whole new one. It could just branch off into two of the already existing ones, you know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely could take place in two different timelines. There's no question about it. Actually, if you guys remember, this is going back a little ways. I think it was last year, either 2015. I think it was 2015. There was a rumor going around that the name of the game. I mean, we still don't know the name of the game, and it's February now. February 2016, pretty much. We still don't know the name of the game, and it's coming out in like 9 months. But there was a theory that the name of the game was going to be The Legend of Zelda Shard of Nightmare, which I thought was gorgeous, which was beautiful. It's dark and mysterious and haunting, and I just fell in love with that name. I don't think that is the name of this game, but it would be awesome if it is. And when I thought about that, I was thinking about future down the road Zelda games. How cool would this is an idea for a game down the road. How awesome would it be if one of the Links, whenever he would go to sleep, he would have nightmares, and these nightmares would be experiences that his other ancestors would go through, back in the other Zelda games. So you fall asleep at night or whatever, and you would have a nightmare, and then you would have to play through an experience that the other Links went through, and maybe you impacted the environment in a way before they even got there, or maybe after they got there in some way, to help them along their journey without them even knowing it. This Link, in my opinion, this one that I've thought of, would be like the unsung hero. He would be like the greatest Link of them all, because he would be living a life full of nothing but nightmares of his ancestors, of his bloodline, of his family, and he would be impacting them without them even knowing it. Kind of like the hero Shade, where, he didn't get recognized for his heroic battles, for his heroic prowess. The Link that I've come up with, and if there was like a Shard of Nightmare type of game, would be this guy would have nightmares, and in these dreams it would be different temples and stuff that the other Links, and different dungeons that the other Links either experienced before or after they came, and he would have to do something, change something to make sure that they could survive when they got there, to make it sure that they either survived when they arrived, or that after they left that it was still okay, that the darkness stayed sealed. So yeah, that's just an idea for like a future Zelda game down the road. Okay guys, that's really it for today. I thank you all for asking your questions. I truly appreciate it. Thank you once again. My name is TruthSeeker182. You can just call me the Lion. And it has been an honor answering your Zelda questions. Please comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright, take care. Peace.